Hello, deoxyribonucleic acid-based life forms. I am Patrick Smith. This is Disenthralled. Today we have another user submission article for you today, this time on a testimony given to the U.S. House of Representatives on cryptocurrencies and the dangerousnesses of the secret ones. U.S. Secret Service action needed to address anonymous cryptocurrencies. A top U.S. Secret Service official on Wednesday asked Congress for help in preventing cryptocurrencies like Monero and Zcash, which provide users with privacy and anonymity features, from being used for illicit purposes. Quote, "We should consider additional legislative or regulatory actions to address potential challenges related to anonymity-enhanced cryptocurrencies." Oh, man. He raised similar concerns about other services like tumblers and mixers. Quote, "Some newer cryptocurrencies have features that make tracing them quite complicated." He said, adding that these new anonymity-enhanced cryptocurrencies are clearly ripe for illicit use in an effort to subvert legitimate law enforcement inquiries. Although it is more difficult to trace the movement of illicit proceeds using these newer anonymity-enhanced cryptocurrencies, it is not impossible. He wants lawmakers to give him more power and ability to override businesses or entities that impede access to digital evidence by refusing to turn over customer data or services, saying, quote, "Continued congressional attention is warranted to ensure law enforcement agencies maintain lawful access to critical sources of evidence, regardless of where or in what form that information is stored." So, the government's a little worried about cryptocurrencies like Monero. Quote, "One of the greatest emerging threats to U.S. national security is illicit use of virtual or cryptocurrencies. Until jurisdictions ensure that these businesses adhere to the same international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing standards as other financial institutions, there will be vulnerabilities that expose the U.S. to illicit finance risk. It's a risk to the national security of the country." Although some P2P exchangers do register and follow compliance laws, most do not. These illicit P2P exchangers position themselves as the money launderers of the cryptocurrency world. Yeah, so there you have it. They're running scared and trying to pretend like they're not. They're losing a little bit of control over your money. They're losing a little bit of control. They're losing a little bit of their ability to pry in and see and control your entire financial life and all of the major purchases and transactions, and even the minor ones that you make. They have everything but actual physical cash, and typically only that in smaller amounts now. And crypto has given them a shadow that they can't see into. It's our tiny little remaining way to make free transactions amongst other people peacefully. But oftentimes that is for things that they don't approve of you having or buying or transacting or trading. And they can't have that. They can't have you having free access to money they don't control, because the system falls apart. So what should your response be to this? Well, aside from working with me to end this terrible monstrosity called a government, well, let's support these currencies as much as we can. Make sure that if you're mining Monero, do it in one of the pools that supports the Monero development. Support the projects that put privacy as the number one objective and number one requirement for their tech. Learn how to use this technology. Teach other people how to use this technology. Support this technology, because by them telling us that it's a danger to national security, they're telling us, hey, this is something you need to learn and figure out and use and support, because it gets a little bit of your self-agency and ownership back. And the last thing I wanted to read was from the actual report by Robert Novi, Deputy Assistant Director, Office of Investigations, United States Secret Service, prepared testimony. It's one of the last things he says in this report. Conclusion. "Despite these challenges, we are committed to continuing to effectively execute our mission. Digital currencies have the potential to support more efficient and transparent global commerce." Yes, because it removes you from the process. It's funny you're trying to put yourself back into it. "And to enhance U.S. economic competitiveness. However, because digital currencies continue to be used to facilitate illicit activity," I like this word, illicit activity. This means activity that could absolutely have zero victims and violate anyone's consent. It's just activity that they have deemed you, slave, may not do. So they'll attack you for it. And they'll treat you like a criminal and tell everybody else that you're engaging. One of the criticisms of the P2P exchanges was that they caught a child trafficker using it. Therefore, everyone else must not have privacy. It seems like the go-to thing now. If the government needs any power, because there isn't currently like a terroristic threat, a terroristic scare happening right now, if the government needs more power right now, they go straight to child trafficking or child pornography or some other child-based scare. Because who's going to say no? We're not going to give you all of our privacy and power to abuse us to save the children. That wouldn't be right, would it? Who would have thought that you could enslave entire populations of people just by saying that you're trying to protect their children? However, because digital currencies continue to be used to facilitate illicit activity, law enforcement must adapt our investigative tools and techniques. And what he's not saying here is legislative power to be intrusive and to force companies to help us go after people that they think are doing wrong, to dismantle criminal groups that use these instruments for fraudulent activity or money laundering. Those that seek to further their illicit activities through use of digital currency should have no illusions that they are beyond the reach of the law. As the investigative work of the Secret Service and our law enforcement partners continues to demonstrate, we are relentless in enforcing the law and will not be stopped by the perceived anonymity of the internet or digital currencies. They need to know that we are and will be relentless in our demands and pursuit of freedom, and that freedom requires them not being involved.